Oops, okay, unmute. So today we're going to show the latest developments of AI telemetry, how it's deployed in, how we're able to run this locally with OpenShift Local, and how we're able to deploy it into production, and how it's built as a container image, and the latest WebAwesome Web Components features, since WebAwesome Pro is now no longer in alpha or beta phase, it's in production. So I'll show you all these features. This is AI telemetry and it's running localhost. So I'm able to run and debug it directly from my VS Code environment here. So I can stop it and then the site goes down, but I can start it again with this run and debug option here. Now the way this was all set up, so it's going to run. It's connecting to the Zookeeper Cluster Manager, it's connecting to the database, it's connecting to Keycloak auth server, and it's doing a data import, and now it's ready to go. So I come back here and refresh. Now, the way this was set up on my computer is by following my own courses here at computate.org, and you go to products and you install OpenShift Local on your own computer. That's step one. It's all free. You can install OpenShift Local on your own computer. It's supported in Microsoft Windows 11 Pro and many flavors of Linux. And then once you have OpenShift Local running, then you can deploy AI telemetry with this stack. So I have a course on how to deploy AI telemetry. Oh, we got to fix this. I think it's now this URL. So, okay, so I'm going to update that on my site. Deploying AI telemetry on OpenShift Local. Make sure I get that link updated. Deploy. Okay, so we'll fix that as well. So back to AI telemetry. See, I'm constantly testing this stuff. Sometimes I break things. We'll get that fixed. So then, now back to my localhost deployment of AI telemetry. So you see, it says it's managing one ACM hub, although I guess that's technically not true because this is not an ACM hub, it's OpenShift Local, but it is an OpenShift cluster. And so we go to clusters, and this is going to make me authenticate. And by default, we use GitHub for authentication. And I've granted myself some groups in Keycloak that control my access. So I have access to a lot of things here. If I was to go into Keycloak, the apps-crc.testing and log in as the admin account and go to the realm for AI telemetry and go to my user and go to groups. Then let me just leave both of these groups, leave. If I come back to AI telemetry and refresh, I no longer can see the OpenShift cluster because I don't have access to it. So I join one of these groups that can give me access to my cluster again, and now I can see that OpenShift local cluster. So that is zero trust fine-grained access control. Zero trust because by default, nobody has any permissions to see anything at all, except for articles. Those are public. But the rest, it's all zero trust and fine-grained access control. You saw me grant myself access to a group which has a corresponding policy, which has a corresponding permission, and the permission is linked to resources and scopes that lets me see this cluster. So here I have some metrics. And let's see. Okay, so yeah, so I refresh, and this is querying the metrics straight out of Prometheus of the cluster. And there's no GPU, so unfortunately I can't connect a GPU to OpenShift Local. It doesn't work, but we have tons of GPUs in the Mass Open Cloud where we monitor GPU utilization in the cluster. But we are able to track memory usage and CPU usage for this cluster. The way this works is this site is, so locally, it is connected to, let me show you. Do vars.py in the AI Telemetry project, and then grep proxy. So it's configured to point to a Prometheus keycloak proxy at the host name OpenShift for OpenShift Local hub metrics dash local dash cluster dot apps dash crc dot testing. So what happens if I go here? Oops, I gotta put an HTTPS / because it doesn't know what I'm talking about. And because CRC OpenShift Local has a fake domain and self-signed certificates, it gives me this warning. But I go here and it says, you are not authorized to access this resource. So the proxy requires authentication and authorization to be able to query the metrics. And this is running in workloads. No. Okay, well, I'll go to workloads, pods, and go to prom keycloak proxy. And this prom keycloak proxy local cluster is running here. And so it proxies requests, but also authorizes requests to query the metrics from the cluster. Some things about how this is set up is we call it ACM Hub Local Cluster, and we get the proxy Prometheus CA cert from the container pod that has the service CA cert. It's always in /var/run/secrets/kubernetes.io/service count/service-ca.cert. This is in every single pod in OpenShift. It's always there. But the Prometheus TLS cert and TLS key, we had to get from a different namespace, because this is in the prom keycloak proxy namespace. And this secret is in a different namespace. So I think this is easiest to see from Argo CD. So let me show you GitOps. All right, got a visitor. Gonna pause for a sec.
Friday's good at work, so like, this could be anything on Friday, if they like it. Yes. Could be the weekend. Friday I charge, but yeah, Owen needs it. Owen, it's like super fun. Yeah. He's my thing. Well, maybe we get a little more. Fresh air, a little sunshine, a little exercise. I told Owen, like, cause I work out every morning.
Let's see. Proxy vault.
What's when do you? I actually been doing it. Well, I go.
Okay, so we set up a vault and a secret store and a job and a secret engine mount, and let me see, so we set up vault to receive a secret from the OpenShift monitoring namespace. And this is, so if I go to pods and go to OpenShift monitoring, but I show default projects. This is where there are secrets for Prometheus. And in GitOps, let me go back to the proxy ones. Proxy default, let's see. Name, local cluster.
Well,
There should be a push secret somewhere. Push secret. Monitoring. Oh, it's this one. Okay. So we have a few push secrets that we push the telemeter client secret and the Thanos query TLS to Vault, and they show up in this OpenShift monitoring key values. So this token goes straight up from the OpenShift monitoring namespace up into Vault, and the same with this Thanos query TLS. It takes these TLS cert and TLS key secrets and pushes them up to Vault, and then the Prometheus keycloak proxy is set up to query those from Vault. So proxy secrets. These are all set up with the permissions to pull the OpenShift monitoring secrets from that other namespace. And then the Prometheus keycloak proxy can then query those metrics and make them appear in the AI telemetry dashboard here. But it's all protected through authentication. So, for example, if I make this request again and see, here we go. We go to network and make this request again. So this query here queries memory usage byte sum divided by on Prometheus cluster capacity memory byte sum. If I take this query and move it, and I'm currently in Firefox, so if I go to Google Chrome and submit this here, then it's going to tell me, it's going to make me authenticate. So this is a protected query, and it's also protected on the Prometheus side. So we're not exposing any metrics publicly, which is awesome. That's the That's the whole role of the Prometheus key cloud proxy and AI telemetry is to keep metrics secure. So in that way, we are able to bring in metrics to a local cluster. And you compare this to the mass open cloud, where we are managing many clusters at the same time. So we have 3 ACM hubs, and some of these managed clusters are actually offline, but we're still tracking because they were created and deleted, practicing creating clusters with automation. And AI-related research projects, we're tracking that. So this is a much bigger environment where we have more clusters and more data. So now we need to fix this because we're currently doing some upgrades right now. So that may be why these requests are not failing or are failing right now. So let's see if we can get everything working here. Let's just check what's happening in this request. Okay, so these queries are going through. Oh, no, there's some kind of error happening. So what we're going to do is push up the rest of our AI telemetry changes. So git add -I 1 through 23. Latest updates to support single cluster deployment. Okay, so I pushed up all of these changes and I have some pull requests that need to be merged. So let me check. I've been working on these for a while. Okay. It's time to merge these. And merge these. All right, so once that's merged, then it's going to build a new container image. So I search for AI-telemetry in NERC images and check out the builds. Okay, so this is doing a build based on my latest merge. It just started a few seconds ago. So we're going to build that. That's going to take like about 9 minutes to build. So I want to show you the difference here. So this site in production is currently using the WebAwesome beta, but now we can migrate to the fully released WebAwesome. So this has a different look and feel than this one right here. So the way this works now is, and you set up a project. So this project is AI Telemetry, and it gives me a kit code, and then I can go and customize this. So I added my Font Awesome kit code so that it includes my Font Awesome icons. And then I can edit my theme, and this is lots of fun because it shows you the light and dark theme. And if I go to my user page, I should be able to customize. Oh, actually, looks like that's not working. So I'm going to have to fix the user page in AI Telemetry so that we can customize uh, the users. Um, Something that I did, the reason why this might not be working is because I recently stopped storing user data in the database and only store user data in Keycloak. So I probably have this page configured wrong where we no longer need to track user data in our AI telemetry database, which is actually a plus. We don't want to track user data. If we already have data in Keycloak where we can keep all user data isolated to one environment, that's better. So got to make a bug about this one, but let's, but this is the style and this is how you customize it in WebAwesome. So you can pick the theme. So it could be the default theme, which has a certain rounding and a certain color, or shoelace, or brutalist, which is very square or rectangular. Matter, which is nice and round, and playful, which is glowy, but I don't know about that glow. The tailspin is a nice one, I think. And awesome is really cool. It's got very thick button lines, and active. I like this one as well. Glossy is what I currently have chosen, and mellow and premium. So you can pick a theme and you can pick colors which are either brighter or less bright, kind of more gray. And you can choose your font. These are very subtle, but that one's more monospace and more sans. And there's some serif fonts in here. And fun stuff to play with there. And then it's integrated with Font Awesome icons, and there's like a million icons and combinations you can do there. And you can also change the rounding of things, the spacing. I don't know about that. Border width. Yeah, kind of fun. So that's the WebAwesome features. And our container is still going to be building. So let me see if we can figure out this bug when I go to here, and these requests are giving errors. So if I go to the Mass Open Cloud observability cluster, we can see these requests coming in because everything is logged. Every request is logged, whether it failed or succeeded. So I go to workloads, pods, go to prom keycloak proxy namespace, and querying the MOC logs. Let's see. Status error, observatorium infra TLS failed to verify certificate. Certificate signed by unknown authority. Interesting. So that probably has to do with updated TLS certificates on the infra cluster that need to be updated in the OBS cluster. And that's really sensitive data, so I won't be able to share updating that on this webinar, but I showed you how it works within the AI Telemetry local deployment, where we used Vault to push secrets to the Vault, and then Prometheus Keycloak Proxy automatically had the updated certs. But this is kind of a new development that I've come up with, and we have not implemented this in the MOC. But I do have an issue assigned to me to fix this problem. So that's why I went and implemented this in OpenShift Local to experiment with the push secrets so that we can migrate to this approach in the Mass Open Cloud because of this problem. So we're going to get that problem resolved and then be able to query the Prometheus Keycloak proxy again, because that's a blocker. Let me see if other hubs work. So if I go to ACM hubs, let's see if I can query Open Sovereign AI Cloud metrics. Oh, let's see. Actually, we go to clusters and we're going to go to filters, ACM hub. So I can filter on Inabox dev, and that will show me these, or I can filter on MOC. Those are not working either. Or Open Sovereign AI Cloud. Huh. Okay. Well, gotta get that fixed. How's our container image doing? Still building. Let me show you some more access control features in my local environment. So if I go to clusters, OpenShift Local cluster, I go to Keycloak, I leave the admin group, and then I can no longer see this OpenShift Local cluster, but I can go and join a group. OpenShift Local. So there's a hub OpenShift Local and a hub OpenShift Local cluster, local cluster. So if I join this group, then I should be able to see this OpenShift Local cluster again. Yes, I can. Although the graphs didn't work when I had those privileges. So let me see what's going on there. If I join group admin, then the graphs show up. So let's fix this bug in here. because we're testing these capabilities. So we make that query, and that query is for some reason rejected. Let's take a closer look. Yeah, so these requests are blocked. Oh, because the way the Prometheus Keycloak proxy works is that it needs to add a filter if you don't own all, if you're not an admin, basically, then you have to filter on a particular cluster that you're assigned to. So if you look at our scopes, we're assigned to the hub OpenShift Local and the cluster local cluster. So the Prometheus Keycloak proxy is expecting a specific filter here on local cluster because you don't have access to all the clusters. So this request gets blocked. So at least, and the local Prometheus does not store any cluster information. So it's always going to be blocked. So to be able to so in OpenShift Local, you're going to have to grant yourself access, admin access, or hub level access. So let's try the hub level. So if we go to join group, OpenShift Local hub, this means we can get all metrics in the OpenShift Local hub. So we join that group and then we refresh, and what do we get? Oh, we still get blocked. Okay. So yeah, within OpenShift Local, the way to get access to the metrics is to join the group admin. But in a real environment where you have actual ACM hubs, then, and you're pointing to a Red Hat Advanced Cluster Management Observability data source, then the fine-grained access control will work all the way down to the cluster, hub level, cluster level, and project level. But in OpenShift Local or a local cluster Prometheus, you're going to have to grant yourself admin access. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Okay, we have a new image build completed and pushed. So let's check this out in our tags. So the latest is 4 minutes ago, which is great. So I'm going to log into the NERC OBS observability cluster. Whoops. OC config use dash context NERC dash OBS, and then I can do OC login dash dash web. And then this will grant me permissions to query OC dash N AI Telemetry get pod. All right. So now I only have read-only access unless I do dash dash as system admin, and then I can delete pods. Pod. This one. Pod slash. This one. Pod slash. This one. Pod slash. This one. And then we will watch the new pod start. They move from container creating as they pull down the new container image to the new pods, and then they go to running, but they're not ready yet. That's what the 0/1 is. It means they're not ready. But once they turn 1/1, that means they're ready. So look at these again, and all of the AI telemetry pods are running again. So we can go to AI telemetry, and our site is back up, and it's using the new Web Awesome style. Looking good. And this time it's light theme. And then let's log in. I think the bug with the metrics is still going to be there. So I'll have to fix that after the webinar. And we probably still have the bug with the site user page, but we'll fix that as well. But there you go. That's how deployment works of AI telemetry to production, and how we updated the new style and everything. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching.